What do you do when you're just starting out at a new ministry? What should you focus on? On this quick episode of Student Ministry Connection, I'll share 10 tips on how to start well at a new ministry. Let's get ready to connect and grow. Welcome to Student Ministry Connection. My name is Steve Cullum. And as of now, I've had the opportunity to serve on staff with 6 different churches. Some of those were internships, and some were part-time, and some were full-time as the leader of the student ministry. And one thing that was similar across every situation was this. When I started, I was filled with so much excitement, but I was also terribly nervous. Being new is so much fun, but it's also a bit overwhelming. And if you're just starting out in ministry, you may think that it gets easier over time, but I've actually found that to be the opposite. I was at one church for 10 years, and then God directed me to another one. And again, while I was so excited to be there, I really didn't like being new. I just come from a ministry and a community that I knew so well after 10 years of investment. And now I was starting over again. So whether you're in your first ministry or you're about to start your 10th church, I'd like to share a few tips that I've learned through my time in student ministry that will help you when you're starting a new ministry, no matter if it's across town, across the country, or around the world. And if you're still listening to this and not finding yourself in that place right now, I hope these tips can still help you to take an inventory of where you are in your current ministry and maybe identify some areas that you can work on, even if you've been there for a while. So here are 10 things I'd recommend you doing when you're starting a new ministry. Number 1 is to get to know people. That includes students, parents, staff, your volunteer team. Take a lot of people out for coffee. Spend time with the core families, but also the ones that are on the fringe. Don't overlook anyone at this time. You'll definitely want to spend some time with your senior pastor or whoever is supervising you, but you'll also want to connect with those teenagers and families who are always there, and also the ones who rarely show up. This is the time to spend time with people rather than filling it with a lot of programming. Get to know people. Number 2 is to get to know the culture of your church or your ministry. How are decisions made? What's the vision of the church leadership? What does a win look like? How do the politics within your ministry work? Even though none of us like church politics, they are real and they're most likely not going away. So learn how to live with them. Understand the culture of your ministry or your church. Number 3, get to know the community around you. Simply put, act like a missionary. When any missionary goes to a new place, they want to learn as much as they can about the people they're going to interact with. So, do all you can to research and learn about your community. Where's the go-to hangout place? What are the most popular activities in the area? What's the history of the town? And what are the things that you maybe should avoid and not do in your town as well? And number 4, ask lots of questions and take lots of notes. So when you're meeting with all these different ministry leaders and students and parents and others, spend most of your time asking questions. Ask them about their background and their testimony and what they like to do and how God has been working in their lives and what they like about their church and their community and anything else that would be helpful for you to know to learn as much as you can. In fact, it also might be helpful to keep an ongoing list of questions that pop into your mind. Maybe just put them into your phone into a note or a reminders list. And then when you interact with people, see how many answers you can get. Number 5 is to build your team. We can only do so much on our own. Our volunteer teams are crucial for multiplied impact. If you inherit a team, get to know them and learn from them. They've been there longer than you, so they have some things to share. And if you don't have anyone when you start, set a goal to recruit at least a couple of volunteers really soon. And if you need help with this, I have several episodes all about recruiting and building a team, so be sure to check those out. Number 6 is get connected to other youth leaders in the area. Again, we are not meant to do ministry alone. So get to know the other youth leaders in your area, which includes other youth pastors, but also parachurch ministry leaders as well, like FCA, Young Life, and others, and begin meeting with them on a regular basis. We are in this together, and we are better together. If you need help finding or starting a local network of youth leaders in your area, please be sure to reach out to National Network of Youth Ministries at nnym.org. Number 7, find a mentor and or a ministry coach. Again, we can only do so much on our own. And not only do we need a team around us and other peers in student ministry around us, but we also need people who are pouring into us and helping us to grow as disciples and leaders. And I'd also encourage you to have multiple. Maybe one can be within your church or ministry, but another can be outside of your ministry, because there might be some things that you'll need to talk about that would benefit from an outside perspective. Number 8, connect with local schools. While we want to have a big impact on students, the truth is that teachers and coaches see teenagers so much more than we do. On top of that, one of the biggest mission fields, if not the biggest, for a teenager is their local school. So get to know the administration, get to know the teachers, and connect with the on-campus ministry leaders if they have one. Even if a school is not too excited about partnering with a church or ministry, you can still be an amazing volunteer at school. You can pray for them all the time, and you can look for ways to bless them. Maybe even consider getting your church to adopt a local school or two on everyschool.com. Number 9, as you observe, pray and begin to put together a plan for sustainable ministry that will make a long-term impact rather than a flash-in-the-pan numerical growth tactic. While it might be fun to pull off a big event, know that long-term ministry cannot and should not be built on hype. Instead, I believe it should be built on Jesus and relationships. Yes, student ministry should be fun, absolutely. But in this time when you're new, begin to dream some, and then think about all the things that you need to put into place now to build something that will last, rather than just attracting a crowd one night. And finally, number 10, try to avoid any big changes for at least 9 months, preferably a year. If you try to make big sweeping changes too early, this can actually ruin trust rather than building it. And then when it's finally time to make some of those changes, do so with a lot of research and strategy. If you want to hear more about how to make these changes, especially within student programming, check out episode 181. Well, I hope this has been helpful for you, and if so, please consider sharing this with someone else in student ministry who you also think might enjoy it. And know that as you build these relationships within your ministry and community, you're building a solid foundation for which to build something that will make a big impact over time. And as you may know already, this podcast is completely free, but it's not necessarily free to make. So if you'd like to support this podcast and my ministry with National Network of Youth Ministries, you can head to nnym.org/Steve Cullum, or you can follow the links in the show notes or on studentministryconnection.com. There's also a link there to join my prayer team, where you'll get a monthly newsletter sharing all the different ways that you can partner with us in prayer. And speaking of prayer, I have a couple speaking engagements lined up this summer, so please be praying for those. And if you're looking for a speaker, go to youthmenhub.com/speakerhub to find me and several other speakers that you can book for your next youth group event or training. And as this episode is being released, we are heading into summer. So I pray that God will use this time to build you and your ministry. I encourage you to use this time wisely, as many of you are going to be going hard for camps and mission trips. But then you might also find yourself in times where you don't have as much going on. Use that time wisely to pray, rest, and invest in yourself, your family, and others. And until next time, be sure to stay connected, and may God bless your ministry.